Well, hello motorcycle fans, how's everyone doing? Okay, it's a sunny Tuesday, and I'm not sure when this video will go out, but it'll be a shortish one anyway. Sold one of my motorbikes. I've sold a little Motorbicane X1, the little tiny white one, which featured in Genesis 1, 2 and 3, or 1.5 and 2 videos, only because it's pretty impractical. I did buy it originally as a paddock bike, but it's not even powerful enough for that, so it's a good little collector's item. I've lightly restored it. I've cleaned all the body panels, scraped them back to clean plastic, polished up, put new decals on, and that's been sold. A bike shop in the West Midlands I think has bought that, so they shall be picking that up hopefully Thursday. So that released a little bit of capital to finish off the TS250. The engine needs stripping, rebuilding, and the input shaft, output shaft, whichever it is, needs replacing because somebody's welded the small sprocket to it. So that's nearly done. Well, whether I keep or sell that, I honestly don't know. I'm not sure yet. So it's a case of, although we've got about 700 square meters of space, obviously a third of that is workshop space, 2/3 is storage for the bikes. Can't really buy any more bikes until I sell a bike, so there's none I really want to sell. The most obvious one would be the TS250J, the orange trail bike, but we'll see. I'm in no mad rush to buy anything anyway, so I've been riding the Ducati since a couple of weeks now. I was going to bring the Triumph today. Tuesday is my pick up wheels and drop off wheels day, but I haven't got anything to drop off because the rims I ordered aren't coming till tomorrow, so I thought I'd go to Newark on the bike, see my friends. I was going to choose a Triumph, but I'm just enjoying this so much. It's so comfortable and it's so blinking quick if you want it to be. So I'm really enjoying this. It needs a service soon, just a minor service. I would do it myself, but I want to keep a stamp on the book, so that's going to my local bike mechanic so I can get the stamp. It's just oil and filter, I think. But I haven't fallen out with the Triumph. It's still a really fun bike. So, and also a bit of exciting news, all the tin works have come back for the Kawasaki H1B triple. That's nearly finished. Just waiting for some gaskets to come because I've got to polish the cases, get that back together. Battery's been ordered and on charge, that's all done. So as long as the fuel tap, which I've rebuilt, works, it should fire up. Giving that a service too, and that should be a fun thing for local bike meets. Don't know if I'd trust it going too far on a 1972 two-stroke triple, but it should be fun for a quick blast. I don't know if you know much about the H1B, but I mean at the same time they first brought out the H2, the 750, which was a few mile an hour faster, but not a lot really. And the 750 was an easier bike to ride apparently because it's got power all the way through a lot of torque through the rev range. Whereas the 500, apparently you have to rev it. It revs another 2,000 higher, and you have to rev it all over the place. And you have to rev it so high to get it moving. It quite often just wheelies as you're taking off anyway, so a bit of a more bonkers thing, even though it's a smaller CC. So I'm kind of looking forward and not dreading, but I'm looking forward. I'm going to be a little bit cautious, I think. So that should be fun. Got to rebuild the oil pump in the T250J, the blue one, and then that should be good to go for summer too. So Parsons Drove, hopefully I'll be on one of those too. We have a local bike night at Guyerne, which I'll probably go to on either one or both of those sometime. Right, I've got a little bee in my bonnet at the moment about collecting stuff. I've always collected stuff, but my bright idea was to have the first moped. I haven't got the first moped I had. I mean, the actual bike doesn't exist anymore. That was a rally runabout, but I did buy a brand new Motor Bicane Sport Special 94 TT, which I've just about finished restoring. The engine's done. There's just a few little bits and bobs, bit of wiring to do, and I think that's ready to go. Not that I'm going to ride it, but it's sort of the first bike I had. Well, it's the first proper looking motorbike, even though it was a moped I had. Then I got the T250J. I've had 3 of those, but that was my first proper motorbike. And also got the 550 Katana, which was the first bike I had when I passed my test. So I've got the sort of first of the ones I've owned. Now I'm going further back now. I've just bought on eBay. When I was little, I had a metallic green Triang scooter, and I've just bought one of them to restore. That should be fun. And also I've got my eye on the very first tricycle I had. I was getting another Triang one, a red and a blue one. So that'll be the very first, I suppose, vehicle I ever had. Little tiny tricycle. So I had a larger tricycle. I'm not sure if it's a Sunbeam or a Triang with a boot on. Trying to track one of those down, but they're quite a lot of money. I'm not paying a fortune for one because I want to restore it. So, but the small tricycle, the big tricycle, the Triang scooter. Now, I had a little pedal car, which again, I don't know how old this thing was, but my parents painted it sort of pink and lilac for me. The second-hand one, I assume it was rusty, that's why they painted it. Yeah, I've been trying to get one of those, but again, a lot of money for these little pedal cars. Absolute fortune, in fact. But I don't want anything too fancy. I don't want down here. So I'd have that. And basically, these are just going to go on the wall as just sort of show items of my first vehicles. Yeah, I could go back and say, well, I'll buy this and I'll buy that, but I think once you've had your first of something, like the first moped, the first big bike, or the first bike, learner bike, and the first big bike, I suppose that's about it. The rest of it is just icing on the cake. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if there'll be any more, but I don't think there will. Who knows? Who knows? Ooh, I knew this was rough, but I forgot how rough it was. Crikey. A big pile of grey clay. Strange. Yeah, so you guys and girls into any of that sort of thing? Nostalgia? I mean, nostalgia's a big thing. I don't think I'm regressing back into a child, but I do like the idea of it. Oh, the other thing obviously I want as well is an RSW16, which is my first bicycle. I bought one a few years ago to restore, had it in the loft and sold it, but I'll buy another one hopefully at a decent price and restore that too. But yeah, I think it's just, I mean, I think this is more about colour than anything else. The Triang scooter was quite a dark, vibrant metallic green, and I just absolutely adore that colour. You know, if you see that colour about, which is very rare, I love it, absolutely love it. And my RSW16, which was metallic green too, that was like a bit similar to the Rover metallic green. And again, I absolutely adore that colour, and that's because you had it as a child, isn't it, really? Right, let's get past this horsey. Yeah, so it's yeah, I think it's just getting the nostalgia, get the nostalgia juices flowing. So is it just me, or are you guys into this sort of stuff? You ladies into buying your dolls, or your old bicycles or tricycles? Don't know, just probably me.